Guys, the chicken is here. We're back today with another home gym video. Just finished up a little workout and yeah, so a little bit scary. Came home today and the gym, it's flooded. The basement, it's flooded. Now, I was kind of expecting this. So I live on a floodplain and what that means is basically I'm on the water and the river tends to wash out in the spring. Now, it usually gets up pretty close to the house, but it doesn't actually like flood per se. It doesn't actually come into the house. We had a ton of rain here today. It was like 24 hours straight rain. And I noticed that I have, there's a leak in my eaves trough. And it is right about at the end of the mirror over kind of like right in front of the electrical panel. Now, I was trying to figure out where all this water was coming from because it's been on and off a little bit. It has been basically directly, you can see where the towel is. So there's been water coming out from under the mat right in front of the bench. And last weekend, I noticed it was getting a little damp. So what I did was I pulled the bench out. I took the stall mat up and I cleaned it with like a mold cleaner, like just in case, because it was pretty wet. That is something, you should do, like, I don't know, maybe once a year. Just move your stuff around, flip over the stall mats. You don't know what's living under there. Sometimes it can be pretty gross. But yeah, the thing with stall mats is they are ribbed for moisture, but the way that we use them in a home gym, there's a lot of weight sitting on them, right? So they're very like compressed into the ground. So the water will come out, yes, but it's still very damp and moist underneath. So you can grow mold pretty easily if you don't like flip them over and dry them out every now and then. If you're in the same situation as me, obviously, I'm sure 99% of you out there don't have this issue. You probably have your gym in a garage or somewhere where the water's not an issue. But a lot of people put their gyms in their basement, so I figured I'd make this video. Maybe someone else has a similar situation, but basically my problem is, like I said, the eaves trough's leaking there, so I get a ton of water on this outside wall right here. And what happens is, I finally discovered it today. I just needed enough water to see where it was coming from, right? Because before there was like water there, and I thought, maybe it was coming up through the floor because these old homes, the foundations are designed to get wet. They're designed for, to water to come up through the floor or it can seep in through the walls. That's why they're kind of sloped towards the sump pump. Every basement where I live has a sump pump somewhere. So typically the floor is like a little bit angled towards the sump pump. Now, yeah, so I was able to find where the water was coming from. And it's not a big deal, if you were to call a company in, like they'd be like, oh, you need a French drain and you gotta, jackhammer out all of the foundation along the walls, and then you have to excavate around the exterior, put in weeping tile, and then have a French drain system on the inside, so that way the water comes into the drain and then goes out through the sump pump. You can kind of get away with just parging, so just by using like a concrete mix and just kind of plastering it on the walls wherever there is leaks. This it's a century home, right? So the foundation is actually like it's so thick, it's like a 3-foot thick stone, I believe it's called stone rubble wall, because the way they used to make them was the like the farmers, they would pull these stones out of the ground and they would make the foundation of their house with them. So I mean they're solid as hell, but they are prone to water seepage if because they'll crack and they're old, and water's going to find the path of least resistance and it's eventually going to find its way through if there is a way through. So it's kind of like a trial and error or denial and error, if you will. Process of just seeing where the water comes in, patching it, parching it up, and then just kind of going from there. So that was my experience with my home gym flooding per se. A little, trying to get some views going here. But yeah, I thought that maybe that would help somebody out. That's my plan anyways. We'll see if it happens. Maybe the whole house is going to collapse and I'm going to get drowned while I'm benching someday. Hopefully not, but you never know. Yeah, so what we'll talk about next is the chicken's big announcement. I'm too fat. I am too fat, and I admit it. And I'm gonna start a nice diet here. And the plan is to drop about, at my heaviest this year, I was like close to 230, probably 230, we'll say, but at least definitely 225. I've lost a few pounds, over the last couple of weeks, and yeah, my plan is to get to 200, just to set a small goal, get to 200, then go from there, right? That's the best way to do it. I don't want to be like, I'm going to lose 60 pounds in, 4 months, and then, progress stalls for a little bit, and then get too stressed out, and then stop doing it. So that is my plan. I'm going to try to stick to it. Yeah, so the first goal is to get to 200. I'm not too concerned about the workouts. I'm not too concerned about the weight that I'm lifting right now. I just want to simply cut some body fat and then go from there. You know, I don't want to put too much, you know, that's just the way how I want to do it. I'm not saying it's the best way, it's just I want to do that, and then, you know, focus on the lifts. You know, I'm still obviously going to train hard and stuff. That's very important, but yeah, so that's what my plan is for the time being. Yeah, too fat. You know, happens. It happens. The thing is, it's spring right now, so I find with the spring, you always get that. There's always that motivation to, like, you know, work out, eat better. I don't know. It's kind of like the New Year's thing. I don't know what it is. Just about the change of season. It's very motivating. So I'm gonna try to take advantage of that while I have it, because that's, you know, the biggest problem for me is just getting started and finding that motivation. Because honestly, like, you know, when I'm a little bit overweight, it doesn't really bother me. I don't know, like, how that comes off when I say it, but it's like I don't really stress about it like I used to, if that makes sense. Because I've done huge cuts before, like I've talked about, and, you know I can do it. It's just getting into that mindset of, like, you know, okay, it's time to go. It's time to work. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Just take advantage of it while it's here, and, you know, because the problem is you get halfway through the summer, and it's like, shit, I'm still just as fat as I was in the winter. And then at that point, you're like, well, you know, it's gonna be winter in a couple months. What am I really cutting for? Like, what do I want to cut weight and look good in October when I got a jacket on, right? And then by then it's like, you know, winter comes around, it's like, it's cool, I'll just bulk for the winter, I'll just do, like, you know, put on 15 pounds, then the summer comes around again, it's like, damn it, now I have 70 pounds to lose. So yeah, trying to avoid that cycle this year, but we'll see what happens. It is barbecue season soon too, so that could get a little dangerous, but yeah, so that's how I'm going to fix the water issue in the home gym in the basement. I hope that helps you out, guys. If you enjoy home gym content, that's what I'm doing here on this channel. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like in the video, throw me a comment, you got anything to say, and we'll see you next one, guys. Chicken out. Back.